Hey Shoujo fans, and welcome to a very special anniversary episode of Shoujo Sundae. This week, Chika and I are going to be digging into Fruits Basket Another. Let's dig in.
私の心があらモードベイビー I make you more than happy けどゆっくりしようね Brain freeze ご注意できるかな Handle me 高すぎカロリー Sugar 以上甘い Feeling with you next to me baby おかわりね仕上がれ
Okay, well, first and foremost, happy anniversary!
Yes, happy anniversary. It's like I'm getting so messed up when it comes to like our years.
Me too. I'm like, it's not
I'm just
4,
like-
it's 3. It's 3 years.
It's 3. It's 3 to y'all. It's 4 to us.
Yes.
If I said we were 4 somewhere else, it's technically not a lie.
Right.
But like
And
for y'all, it's 3.
yeah,
Yeah.
professionally speaking, it's 3 years.
hmm
But in celebration of this 3rd year of ours, and for having finished the Fruits Basket anime series, we wanted to check out Fruits Basket Another, which I've personally never read before. Have you ever read it before?
No, I haven't read it before. So, guys, I know that this is coming out literally on our anniversary, July 17th. Technically, we're still reviewing
Yeah.
the rest of Fruits Basket. So even though this is like episode 98, this could also technically double as 100 if you're like a purist and you're just like, I want to see y'all talk about the anime, then go to Fruits Basket Another. So whichever way you see it, but still, we wanted to properly end our Fruits Basket coverage by going over this epilogue together for the first time.
Yeah, I was very excited to see what it was all about. So why don't we start with our soft serve summary?
Sure.
All right, this is unedited. It's from the Fruits Basket fan wiki in the plot section. So, Fruits Basket Another takes place decades after the original story and features new characters. The main protagonist is Sawa Mitawa, a very shy and self-conscious girl who purposely avoids interaction with others because she fears she is nothing but a bother. When she enters her first year of high school at Kaibara Municipal High School, she instantly gets in trouble with a teacher, but she is saved by the princely Mutsuki Sohma. When Mutsuki asks Sawa to go to the student council room after school, she meets Hajime Sohma, another member of the Sohma family, by accidentally stepping on his face. It is here that Mutsuki decides to make her a part of the student council. While Sawa is at first reluctant, in order to change herself, she agrees to join. Although she has no knowledge about the Sohma family and is uncertain to why Mutsuki and Hajime helped her out and didn't reject her, Sawa works hard to be less self-deprecating and begins building her self-esteem. As she begins interacting with the new generation of the Sohmas that are loving and nurturing, they are able to help Sawa grapple with her demons and hope for a brighter future. And that is our soft serve summary. So, getting into our manga review format here, it's a little different than a regular episode. Let's talk about our general thoughts on the manga and how it ended. What did you think?
So, reading the manga, I enjoyed it, but then at the same time, it was like I was mentally like trying to put 2 and 2 together a bunch of the time. So I'll be reading it and then I'm just like, I think this Zodiac is their parent.
Yes,
I
me
think this Zodiac is their parent. Yeah, and I feel like for the longest time, I was like, who is Sawa's parent? Not in a Zodiac way, but I was like, who is she related to? I think she's wholly unrelated because,
Yeah.
yeah. But But I was like, who is she related to? Because I thought that somehow it kind of would be turned around like, oh, maybe there was a not as happy person that went to school with Toru and them, and then that is Sawa's mom or dad or whatever. But no, we don't find that out. So there was a good portion of where I was just like, who is the mom? Like, who is the dad? How are we going to tie this in together? But yeah, I think it was just interesting to sort of see like the family dynamic. I think the fact that their family, or at least this new generation of Soma kids, are so loving and so kind is really just a testament to the fact that the previous Somas that we're all familiar with did a lot of work to kind of battle their own demons. Like, yes, they don't have the curse anymore, but they still probably needed therapy, probably like needed to take a step back, and they were able to get themselves together enough so that they didn't poison their children in a sense, or like kind of put on like their own burdens onto their kids. So it was just kind of nice to see how fun-loving all of them were. And the ending, I have thoughts. I have thoughts, but what did you think about it, Gianna?
Yeah, I'm very much on the same page as you. I thought it was like a cute, interesting insight on the next generation of Soma children. It was cool to see how they interact, especially given how close Mutsuki and Hajime are in particular. It's like the closeness that Kyo and Yuki always sort of wanted, but could never really have because of the Zodiac curse. So I loved seeing that. There are some things I'm like, I don't know if I should wait, because it's the general thoughts. I will just, I guess, vaguely say I wish I was able to root for the couple that is pushed upon us in this.
No.
Okay, I'm so glad. I knew you were going to be right there with me, but like, yeah. And that was an easy thing that could have just been, he could have just been written a few years older, but but I will say there were also a lot of powerful moments for me in this manga, especially when Mitoma's social anxiety was showcased. I don't know if I should call her Sawa or Mitomo. I guess Sawa is easier to say.
When I started doing my notes, I was like, Sawa girl, because I can't.
Yeah, Sawa is easier to say. But like her social anxiety in particular, I thought it was portrayed very, very well. I thought Takaya Sensei made a very believable villain in the mother as well. Extremely well written, horrible person. I was just blown away by the writing there. As far as the ending goes, I think it ended nicely for the most part. I am glad that we didn't get like a kiss or anything between Sawa and Shiki. Like they kind of kept it like they're solidifying their friendship. It's clear they have like a little crush on each other. Maybe when they're a little older, they'll sort that out. But it seemed very innocent where it left off, so I was glad about that.
I mean, I think it was nice to see Shiki sort of get a conclusion.
Yeah.
I don't really like that Sawa didn't get the conclusion because the volume started off with her. Yeah. And so it's just kind of like, okay, yes, what I want to see the conclusion with Shiki, like overcoming his own battles and like figuring out how to compromise and stuff because of what his parents did to his family. I'm glad we got to see that, but it just feels like, while realistic, it also feels unfair that it's like, okay, we get introduced to Sawa and we get to see that she's in a very terrible living situation with her parent. I could relate, but like what's like,
where did it go?
Where did it go?
Yeah, where's the resolution? Yeah,
because it's like, I think it would have been nice. Like, I know at one point, well, we meet a lot of characters and we're going to go through that, but like at one point, Momiji's daughter was like, if you need my dad's lawyers, let me know. So I was just like, oh, like, maybe she'll get emancipated? Like, I was kind of thinking, is it going to go there? Like, is she going to get emancipated and then start living with the Sohmas, similar to Toru? Or, like, would it be a situation where she gets in contact with her dad? Because her dad's not dead. They're just, like, her parents are divorced.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, like, this is the type of person that I am. Please help me. Like, I can't keep dealing with this. I really would have liked to have seen something like that when it comes to Sawa. And then we get the Shiki thing, and then I'll be like, okay, I would have felt a bit more settled if something like that had happened.
I agree. I wish there was more closure on her situation because it's such a bad situation. It's like, oh, okay, so she's like learned to self-soothe and focus on the positive things. And that's great. That's a great step and a hard step to take.
Yeah.
But she's still in that situation. I would have liked to see something alleviate for her, for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Shall we get into the characters? There are so many to go through this time.
Yes. Oh my God. So many.
Let's start with our girl Sawa Mitawa. What did you think?
She made my heart ache.
Yeah.
Because I saw like too much of myself.
Yeah.
That I was just like, you need a hug. Give me a hug to paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like she was really like lonely. She didn't want to rock the boat. She couldn't even look up at people, which kind of reminded me of A Silent Voice when Shoya would have the X's on people's faces.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely reminiscent of that. Yeah.
It reminded me of that, and I was just like, oh, like, I get it, like, to an extent, like, if I don't rock the boat, if I don't say anything, then I can't hurt anybody, right? But then people are going to be unsatisfied regardless. So that's something that she had to come to terms with. So I was just overall really proud to see, like, her progress and for her to push herself, you know, because her living situation is just so bad and she's under control of like a full-on like narcissist, hateful person that kind of volleys between being jealous of her and then being overly authoritative and overbearing. And so I think just watching her kind of navigate her high school life, I was just glad to see that she was able to make changes. Like, she joined the council, she was kind of forced into it, but it helped her be able to talk to more people and get comfortable with talking to people. And I think once she was able to get out of her shell and to make friends, not only with the people on the council, but with people in her class, then you could see that she was able to use those interactions to kind of be her light when she did have to go back home.
Yeah.
And stuff. And so I think in general, it's just really good to see that she had that light because she so desperately needed it.
Yeah, I feel like that echoes a lot of what the original series is about too, where it's like you can find that motivation and the connections you have with people around you that come to be special to you. So that was very reminiscent of the original Fruits Basket. I have on my notes, she's overly apologetic, she's socially anxious, she has very low self-esteem. I mean, this has everything to do with her abusive mother, like personally destroying her friendships and all of that stuff. Also, it's clear that she's dealt with neglect from childhood as well. But she meets the Sohmas, and when she does, she continues to choose to keep her head up, both literally and figuratively, and she hangs on to those happy moments so that they can make her stronger. And by the end of the manga, you can definitely see progress in her.
Yeah.
And I'm satisfied with her arc regarding that aspect.
Yeah, me too.
Moving on to Hajime Sohma, Toru and Kyo's eldest son. He's the mirror of Kyo. I adore him.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I love how they get dramatic entrances. Now, his isn't dramatic as his dad, but it's like you stepped on his face.
Yeah.
Like, which, oh my gosh, that like unlocked something in my brain. Like, when you get really comfortable in a relationship, like, okay, I know this is like, y'all are gonna look at me different. I don't really give a shit. Everybody looks at me different. People barely like me. Like, when it comes to like when you're in a relationship, like sometimes you just get these impulsive urges to like do things, like to just like kind of grab your significant other with your toes, and like I like my brain just mentally like went there. Like, I mean, of course
funny.
she was wearing a slipper, so it's like not the same, but it's like that activated in my brain, and I was like, because I'm the type to do that, not often, but like I don't know, like just random impulsive
Just,
urges
like,
of
silly
like
stuff.
yeah, like silly, like just stupid shit. And I was just like, yes, okay, I'm sad. Like I'm here.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
To validate your impulsive stuff, like if me and Ian are holding hands, one of us will sometimes just be like we bit off someone's finger and be like, "Hey, I need that. Don't do that." It's like very, very silly. Very silly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also love Hajime's big brother instinct. He's like very protective of other people. He can also get fired up about things in a similar way like the Kyo did. So I like to see that. Maybe he's a little less intense, but he still gets fired up. Also, adore that he hates Kyo's dad because same.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course, like he's not dead yet. I don't know.
Right.
Like,
why is he hanging on? Like
he's still alive.
Has the stress
like,
not killed him yet? Like
right, yeah.
We also have Mutsuki Sohma, Yuki's and Machi's son. He's a true little prince, in my opinion. You know, he's walking around with a princely attitude the way Yuki never did, I guess without the trauma. Maybe it allowed him to grow his confidence more than Yuki did. But I also love that he can't cook and he's not organized, which is also very similar to like his father and his mother.
What I love about this is, which we're also going to meet him as well, but it feels as if Yuki's son, to a point, is like Ayame, and Ayame's son is like Yuki.
Right. No, I definitely see it. Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, like, without the trauma, Yuki could have been more like Ayame.
Yeah, but maybe toned down a little bit, yeah.
Toned down, but like, yeah.
Yeah. We should want to talk about Chizuru since we've mentioned him. That's Mine and Ayame's son, younger son. They have 2 kids.
Younger son. Yeah, yeah.
Like, I feel like you would never guess that he was Ayame's kid apart from the way he looks, because he's very serious. He's like bordering irritable, which is honestly very understandable given the environment he's grown up with, all 3 of them. Can you imagine? Because I cannot imagine.
I'm surprised he's not living in that other house too, to be quite honest.
Right. He should stay with like Hajime and Mutsuki and stuff, you know, Kinu.
I feel like that's gonna be like his next thing. Like as soon as Hajime goes off to college, it's like, oh, there's an opening. It's my time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like one more family member takes an impromptu trip, he's just gonna pack up his bags and go. Like Yeah, which I feel like there's nothing wrong with like being normal. I know that was one of Chizuru's like hang-ups, sort of. Like they're trying to put it off as like adolescent angst, that he's just like, oh, like when people go in the shop, they're so entranced by his dad, they expect him to be just like his dad, and he's not. And he had like kind of a chip on his shoulder about it. And him meeting Sawa and Sawa being like, I don't know who anybody is, kind of made him like chill out. Yeah.
Which is like, okay, yeah, like once you get out into the world more, like, I don't know, life doesn't really revolve as much around family. So
yeah, it's like once that's not his entire world, I think it'll help even him out.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about Hibika Sohma, his older sister, Mine and Ayame's daughter. Who she's
It's
a
like,
handful.
She is them. She
She's
just
them,
looks
just melded together. Like
she just looks like Mine, but she is fully both Ayame and Mine personality-wise.
Yes.
Which is insane.
Right.
Like,
we're talking extremely flamboyant, passionate, creative, spontaneous. Like, I would be afraid, just like same as Ayame, I would be afraid to be in a room with this person just because of the energy.
yeah, like if you're having an off day, that would be too much.
Oh my God. Especially, I think it's being introverted too. It's just like, I can't with all of that. Like
I can't.
That's too much for me.
Yeah, like my social battery dies. It would be like,
Yeah.
I would be in my room, like, you would never see me.
Very
Yeah.
much same. We've got Shiki Sohma, Akito's and Shigure's son. He's got a lot of emotional baggage he's carrying, internalizing the previous generation's hatred for his mother. So he kind of has taken a step back from the family and not really getting involved, which is it mirrors Sawa's experience, but from a different perspective. Like, choosing not to get involved for very, very different reasons. He obviously loves his mother dearly, but seems to be on the fence about Shigure, which I'm like, aren't we all? I kind of love that he's just like, can't really stand my dad.
Right, like, yeah. Like, you can register that your dad's not shit. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Personality-wise, he's very reserved and very serious, but Sawa seems to bring out a softer side of him.
yeah. I think he's well-rounded. So it's kind of like seeing what Akito would have been like if Akito didn't have to have this weird god complex curse on her.
And Ren.
And Ren.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like a better mom. And yeah, I think it's just nice that the family doesn't take it out on him. And while I can understand that he doesn't really know how to feel because the weight of what his mom did was really like harsh, I feel that it's nice that he's still integrated with the family and that none of the other Soma kids take anything out on him because he is a very good kid. And, he has a Go Club, which I thought that was like cute.
That's
it's like,
very cute. Yeah.
It's essentially like being in the chess club, which is very dorky but cute. Like, I don't know.
It.
It's just, yeah, I just think that he's very cute, and I feel like maybe things would have been different. This is another reason why you can just not like Shigure. But I feel like if, like, okay, y'all are upset at Akito. Makes sense. You can be upset at Shigure too.
Oh, yeah.
Also makes sense. But Shigure's not as to blame, technically, as Akito. And Akito's not as to blame either, but still, Shigure's a bit, like, less. So I feel that if they did more, even if Akito didn't go to family gatherings, if Shigure, like, went or whatever, I think that would have helped Shiki a lot in being able to figure out, like, how he could approach these things. Because I think essentially he was just kind of grappling with mirroring his parents versus, like, just going about things the way that he could. Because if you're going to mirror your parents, you're not going to be sure about how people see you, despite what they say.
I do think it's the younger generation that's not taking Akito's actions into account, but it seems like the older generation has been leaving him notes and stuff.
I thought that was just Ren. I didn't think that was the older generation. I thought that was very much so just his grandmother.
That is probably much more accurate. Because in my mind, I was like, who of, like, our main cast would actually, like, do that to a child, especially knowing that they all have children themselves. So that makes so much more sense if it's just Ren, which she needs to die.
Like,
we're not a half Fudge, but she needs to die.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Like, so you gave birth and she's still roaming her. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Riku Sohma. I adore Riku Sohma, Rin and Hatsuharu's son. He's the younger of two twins. I think, well, I mean, we'll get into it more. I just think he's, very much like Hatsuharu. He's very serious and stoic in the way his dad is. He looks just like him. I love his dark sideburns with his white hair. He can come off as intimidating, but you can tell he's a good guy.
Mm-hmm. Like, he is just serious. I don't know. Maybe he's just more like Ren. Rin. If Rin wasn't, or Izu, if Isuzu wasn't as traumatized, then she would be like Riku.
Oh, I thought she'd be more like Sora if she wasn't.
Sora, I feel like, if anything, since they're twins, it's like we're splitting off, like, the colors. So you know how there's, like, Black Haru or whatever, and then regular Haru. I feel regular Haru that's more fun-loving and like kind of makes jokes. That is Sora.
Mm-hmm.
And then Riku is so serious. It's like not like angry, but it's like he's more in tune with his emotions, so he's like more stoic, and that's it. So I was just like, oh, he's kind of more, I guess, yeah.
They're both
like
kind of
Sora,
a mix.
They're both kind of a mix.
Yeah.
Like Sora visually looks like Izu, but the attitude is fun-loving Haru, and Riku looks like Haru, but he's very serious like his mom. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can get into Sora as well. She's also, the older twin of Rin and Hatsuharu. She is bubbly. She's passionate but bad at sports. She loves to eat. She's a little goofy. She's very stylish like her mother. And she also looks a lot like Rin, but she's much more cheerful than her, which I feel like is a testament to the loving home that Rin and Hatsuharu were able to create for their family.
Yeah.
Also, when I was looking up like a list of the names, I saw that their names, Sora and Riku, translate to sky and land. So it's like one is land and one is sky, and I think that's very cute.
Oh my gosh. Wait, which one? Wait, who's the sky? Sora?
Sora.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I look up to the sky to give me hope. I stay grounded because like, yeah.
Very
I just
cute.
made that shit up. So guys, that didn't they didn't write that in the wiki. I just made that shit up just now, but it's very cute.
We have Mina Soma, Momiji's daughter. When I saw her, I was just like, again, trying to be like, who's dad? Or who's her dad? Who is it? Then we found out it was Momiji. I'm like, oh, of course. She's sweet. She's energetic. Like, which I feel like is very reminiscent of how middle school Momiji was.
Yeah, they just threw us off a little bit because she had a butterfly clip. Like, if it was a bunny clip, I would be like, I know.
Yeah.
I know who you are.
Yes, exactly. She was also surprisingly athletic, which I thought was a really nice touch to see a young girl so excited about sports, because I feel like you don't see that as often.
Right, and I thought what was kind of surprising to me, right, is that we get little tidbits about the older Sohmas we know as well. So, in the manga and the anime, Momiji's playing the violin.
Yeah.
One of his dreams was like, I want to play a symphony and have like my family come and watch me.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like he just runs whatever his dad's business was.
Yeah.
And then Momo assists him. So it's like, okay, I guess they were either able to reintegrate Momiji back into his family for this to be able to happen. So I'm just like, I'm interested in just like, okay, how's the grandmother in this situation?
Yes, I'm curious too. That's like something I really would have liked an epilogue on.
Yeah, just like he was reintegrated, like how?
Because it was very complicated. We need to know how.
Right. Takaya Sensei, we have questions. But yeah, so I think I like that Mina's her own person. Even though it would have been cute to see her have like a bunny. I think she had a bunny stuffed animal when she was sick.
I think so, yeah.
Like, it would have been cute to see her have the butterfly or bunny clip. But still, I think the fact that she is athletic and stuff, and she's kind of her own mini, like, person, I thought that was very cute.
Yes, me too. We also have Kinu Soma, Mayu and Hatari's daughter. I'm not gonna lie, I kept forgetting who she was related to the entire time, because anytime she came in, I was like, oh, it's Kinu again.
Right. I was looking at her because of, like, the hair, because, like, we're reading the manga, so we don't get to see color-wise, like, the coloring of it. So, when I first saw Kinu, I was like, Ayame?
Same. I was like, but you're so chill. So, like,
right.
There's no way.
Right, because Ayame also braided his hair that way. And
exactly,
so
yeah.
I was like, Ayame? And then someone's like, oh, her dad's a doctor. I was like, Hattori? I was like, okay. And then you find out she's like entirely unambitious. And I was just like, Hattori?
Yeah. And also Mayu as well. Like, I feel like neither of them give lazy unless it's sort of like, I shouldn't say lazy because I don't think laziness exists, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I feel like maybe it could be an opposite thing of like, oh, maybe her parents are so busy and ambitious that she's like, I don't want that to be my life. So maybe that's it.
Right.
But I don't know. It seems like a stretch to get there. I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, in this day and age, we're all working too much. So seeing her be like, I want a job that requires little effort. I'm like, same, girl.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just kind of interesting. I think just the timeline, like when I think of like the older kids, because essentially me and Gianna were trying to figure this out. So I know that they alluded to it in the Musketeers arc, but technically, like, Toru and Kyo were fucking, right? So Hajime was like, Hajime came, like, that's why it's like, oh, mama y papa. Like, he's just like, oh, like he's on it, because he's, like, one of the oldest ones, because they got down to business. So it's just like, okay, he's about to go to college. He's technically one of the oldest.
Yeah.
But then there is Hattori's. Kinu's like 20 or whatever. So Kinu is above. So I'm trying to figure out, I think Hibika is under that, right?
I think so.
So it's like, yeah. So it is Hattori, which, okay. I mean, one of the older ones had to do it for. I'm actually surprised. If anything, I'm surprised Hibika's not the older one.
Right? The passion there.
The
right?
passion with Ayame. I am surprised that Hibika is not the older one. That Hattori was first. But I guess that's neither here nor there. So it's just okay. So it was Hattori first. You got to see the world. You got a child. Fine. Then you have Ayame. Okay, cool. Toru and Kyo, that teen pregnancy, okay? Like, we have shows like Teen Mom. It's your prerogative if you want to do teen pregnancy or not. If Gianna and I got, let me say me. If I got pregnant it would be a teen pregnancy.
No, same. Same. Yeah. It would be that in my brain, that's what it would feel like. Yeah.
But still, I think it's just interesting to see how the lineup is funny because it's like, okay, Kyo, okay, then Yuki, all of these other people, and then Akito and Shigure. That is also surprising to me.
That is surprising to me. Yeah.
That is extremely surprising to me. I'm not saying that they can't have like a mini break, right? Because obviously Shigure is so possessive. I'm certain that Shigure was the one that was like, we ain't having kids until it's like I've had you to myself for a certain amount of time.
Probably.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
So Shiki is quite younger than I thought he would be.
Yes.
Given that that's their only child.
Mm-hmm.
It would have made more sense if Shiki was in high school.
I agree. For so many reasons.
For so many reasons.
Yeah.
Well.
Do we want to talk about any of the side characters like Ruriko Kageyama or Ryo Masuka? They're there. They do stuff.
Something else that I was surprised about, I find it interesting. We don't see Arisa. Does Arisa not have kids?
There was that one girl that
Uotani.
looked just like her, but it's not.
So something else that we learned. Ryo Masuka, who is in school with Shiki, is Hanajima's son.
Yes.
Hanajima doesn't end up with Kazuma. Amen.
I was so happy. I literally was like, oh, thank
Amen.
God. Yeah.
Amen. Because no, I was so firmly against that shit, manga and anime. I was like, bitch, you try again.
Yeah.
Try again. Because he raised Kazuma, I would look at you so damn funny. Like, right, because Kyo and Hanajima are the same age. Hanajima's trying to become his mom. No. So I was like, praise God. I don't know who his foreigner parent is.
But it's not Kazuma, and we're happy about it.
It's not Kazuma, and I was happy about it. I was like, amen to that. But, like, Ruriko's mostly, like, a ice cream, you scream type of character to me.
1,000%. I agree. Yeah. Mini Motoko.
Yeah. And I'm just kind of like, I understand when parents have kids, right? And like, y'all are into music and you want your kid to be into the same music that you are into, right? So it's like, I'm gonna take my fake kid, because I ain't gonna have no children, okay? Don't ever call me mom. But like, I'm gonna take my fake kid to see, now I'm mentally trying to do math of who would be alive. I would mentally take my kid to see Taemin, because Taemin is in and around our age, so he would still be alive. So I would take them to see Taemin, or to see a Shiny concert or something, or to see Florence and the Machine. But for actual people, I feel like that just in general, it freaks me out, being a fan of a regular person, and then it's just like, now you're a fan of their whole family. What is wrong with you? Like,
right. Ruriko is arguably worse than Motoko for that reason. I did have an ice cream you scream, but I don't mind talking about it a little bit here. Yeah, I mean, she's just obsessive. She's loud. She's long-winded. She's very annoying. I found it very, very funny at one point. Sorry for the siren if you guys can hear it. Like, I guess Motoko maybe matured a bit over the years, because apparently at one point she says to her daughter, I get it, but chill out. And I laughed. I'm like, oh my God. Even Motoko's like, you gotta take a step back. Like,
right. Like, passing out fans. Like, it was excessive to a point where I was just like, somebody needs to intervene. And then we get to see Takei, Principal Takei, who was the president when Yuki was vice president. At one point in the original series, and I was just like, this is where you're supposed to step in, and you aren't doing shit. Yeah, it wasn't even as bad as it was when he was in school. So to me, it's just like, you're the person that should say stop. But yeah. I don't know if there are any other.
Well, Sawa's mother, but we're just gonna wait for Hot Fudge, I think. Let's just wait. Getting into our segments, which it's like I tried to whittle down my stuff, and I'm just not good at that when it's manga. So what are your floats your boat for Fruits Basket Another?
I loved Mutsuki saving Sawa from Principal Takei.
Me too.
I was just like, yes, please save her, because she clearly doesn't mean it. She's clearly like not fully like there, like her anxiety is like kind of taking control of her. So I just appreciated him stepping in that moment. I thought it was hilarious. We already said it, that Sawa stepped on Hajime's face.
Yeah.
And I guess to kind of move from there, I also liked the fact that Hajime and Mutsuki essentially saved Sawa from her apartment manager.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Because I just feel like, like when you're dealing with somebody that's a narcissist, something that you also end up dealing with is their flying monkeys, right? They're flying monkeys, and I'm using actual therapy type terms. So I'm not just saying like, I'm not saying shit like this isn't like, oh, Wizard of Oz. They're literally called flying monkeys, where if you're a narc, you have somebody that's firmly on your side and kind of spitting out that same like rhetoric. So even if you're not around the person that you're trying to like harm, the flying monkey is around that person and reminding them of like their place. Yeah. And so that is firmly like what the apartment manager is. Which is just kind of like you attacking this high schooler about money when you know it's like the parent, right? Why are you talking to her when you should be talking to her parent?
Yes.
And then
100%.
Even outside of that, then it's like you're mad at the mom, then you turn around and then you're just like, it's hard to be a single mom. You should be like grateful. And it's like,
yeah, I have all that in Hot Fudge for sure.
Yeah. So I was just glad that they kind of saved her from the apartment manager and also gave her student ID back.
Yes.
I also love something else that we see is Megumi. So Hanajima's brother is Sawa's homeroom teacher. And I love it. And he looks so debonair too, with his like turtleneck and everything.
Yeah, I thought that was like a very fitting choice for him, because he was already such an insightful kid that like him deciding to become a teacher is perfect for him.
Yes, it makes sense. And I think even though she was like late that first day of school, once he found out she was on the student council and stuff, and he kind of knew about the fan club, he was just like, oh, let me know if you get into any trouble, I'll curse them. And it was a joke, but I was just
great
like,
callback. Yeah.
Yes, great callback. So I loved seeing that. Also liked seeing Sawa become friends with the two other girls. I know one of them's named Damane. I don't know what the other girl with the bob's name is.
I think her name's Mito. I'm sorry for
Mito.
Soleil, by the way. She's just...
No, it's okay.
Oh, I acknowledged her, so now she's walking away. Okay, we're back on track.
Right, yeah. I loved that Sawa was able to make friends with Amane and Mito. I do feel, while I don't really like the way that Riku brought it to her attention, I'm glad that she confronted it head on, was just like, oh, like, this person actually wanted to eat lunch with me, and she's kind of getting out of that mindset of, I need to keep to myself, I'm a burden to other people.
Yeah. I
so
thought it was... Sorry.
No,
I also thought it was very cute that they all became friends, and it's also like one looks like a miniature Uotani and the other almost kind of looks like a miniature Saki, so it's kind of like seeing like another like trio with like similar faces like get together. Also just kind of like lumping into that, I love that they ask Sawa to go out for dessert on one of their upcoming days off, and that they ask her to hang out over the summer, you know, so just like watching that little friendship happen like outside of the Soma thing, so it's not just all about the Somas, was cool to see. Yeah,
and I think it's just nice to see that friendship can just be that easy.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be. I mean, in other people's experiences. Well, no, I guess it could apply to me and Giana in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's just, you mutually like something, and then it just grows into, like, a friendship from there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so it was good to see that with her. And I love that they brought her over to eat with them.
Me too, the sukiyaki party.
Yeah. I think it was just nice to see her kind of have that change of pace.
Yeah, definitely.
But I also appreciated Mutsuki, like, kind of pulling her aside when it was clear that she was a bit overwhelmed. To just kind of level her in a way, or just help her sort of decompress and come back into the moment.
Yeah.
I love that Sawa walked Shiki to the Soma house when she saw that he was overheating.
Yes, that was very kind, you know, to not ignore somebody looking like they're discomforted like that.
Yeah, like they could pass out. So I think it's just nice of her to like walk with him and stuff in case he fainted or anything.
Yeah.
Which, take off your cardigan if you are feeling overheat. Like, you don't need to wear a cardigan in the summer if you're like...
Yeah, 100%. That's a great way to start.
Free yourself. I thought it was sweet that Sawa was able to borrow the Soma clothes.
Me
and
too.
It's also cost effective for her as well.
Yeah, 100%. Hajime was very sweet to offer. And I thought it was also very sweet that Sora helps Sawa out when she's just like, I don't know how I'm going to wash these, you know, and Sora was just like, hey, we'll figure it out. You know, it's just really awesome of them. I really just enjoyed all the kindness they were giving to Sawa.
Yeah, seeing her be so easily embraced did something for me. So I was glad that she was able to like have that. I also just love in general that all of the Soma kids, including at least one of Ayame's children, is overwhelmed by him and just the thought of him.
Me too. I was just like, oh, everybody's just like so done with Ayame. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And I also just reiterated again at the end of Volume 2 that it was nice seeing the Somas taking care of one another and looking out for each other as well.
Yeah.
And also, because of the fact Sawa's coming around more, they're also having Shiki come around too, or he's motivated to come around because he wants to see Sawa in like a happier disposition, which I think that kind of reminds me, I'll say Shiki's feelings or thoughts on wanting to see Sawa happy reminds me of Kyo and Toru, and that even though Kyo was in a terrible, like, situation, like, home life-wise, although he did have Kazuma, he was still worried about Kyoko and worried about Toru to the point where he was just like, oh, I hope that they're smiling today. I hope that they have some sort of, like, happiness.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to kind of see that within Shiki of, like, he wants to see Sawa happy and stuff because he is the person this isn't like floats your boat, obviously, but he witnessed Sawa's accident
Yes.
with her arm and everything. And so I'm glad that it's like he was motivated to see her happy, and in trying to see that, he's also being more around his family and the other kids in his family and seeing just how welcomed he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So they go to the cottage. They have all these random properties. I'm just like, okay, one, I will say with the Sohmas, I like how they have so much like communal property.
Yeah.
And it's open to everyone now. It's not, you don't have to just be a Sohma to go to the cottage. Like, even Ruriko, which why? But
I was very confused about that. I'm like, why were you there? I think that was something I put in like banana split. Or nuts, maybe.
But still, everything's communal in that sense. So it's like I had mentioned Mina saying that if Sawa needs lawyers, she could talk to Momiji's lawyers for her. Or they have a beach house and they have this cottage. And I like that they have these communal spaces, but I also like that they go to these communal spaces together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just I'm just going to go off by myself. It's just like, oh, like, I'm going to go here. Do y'all want to come?
Mm-hmm.
And so they're always able to be interconnected, which I think that that's really valuable, like, to have.
Yeah. They're such a close-knit family after everything that the previous generation went through. There was just so much healing that happened, and I think that's also what gives so much comfort to this manga, is that, like, you know all of the strides that had to be made to get here.
Yeah, to get to this point.
Yeah.
Shiki teaches Sawa how to play Go, and he, like, blushes. It's very cute.
It's very cute. Yeah, I have that too.
Because it's like, it's his favorite game, and like he's just happy to play it with her. So I was like, that's very cute.
Yeah.
And they went to the aquarium together.
Mm-hmm.
The actual them being at the aquarium was cute.
Yeah. It's like, I wish I could root for them.
It's very, like, I know.
I think that, I have it in Banana Split. I was scrolling down because I was like, I want to enjoy it for what it is, but it's just like, I love the antics around it. And I love the aquarium, but it's just, like, tainted with the age gap.
Yeah. Because, like, he's 14.
Oh,
I don't know
I think
how old.
I think he's 13 and she's 16. That's what I've read.
I thought he was 14 and she was 16.
14 and 16 slightly better, but I thought I read that he was 13. Let me see. Shiki Sohma age. Fruits Basket Wiki says age 13.
Okay.
So it's worse than you thought. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then the last floats or boats that I thought it was cute that Shiki got kind of happy in, like, the last volume that Sawa was so open to talking to him. It's just that the circumstances will be a little complicated because she didn't have a phone at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also liked that, I didn't write it here. I don't remember where it happened. Hajime eventually apologizes. It might have been the other volume. Apologizes to Sawa for being kind of standoffish with her because of the lawsuit that happened.
Yeah, I have that as well.
Accident.
Yeah, I appreciated that.
I appreciated him apologizing to her. And I also liked that Mutsuki was kind of a flashback for Shiki, but Mutsuki finds out about those notes that people are leaving Shiki, and it's just like, you need to tell an adult. You need to tell an adult. You need to tell somebody else who cares about you. If you need help, I'll tell. Whatever you need, like, you know, like, this isn't, like, right. Like, this can't keep happening, you know?
Yeah. Especially
the fact, it's like, oh my gosh, it was sad. Like, he was collecting the hate. Like, and I was like, please, like.
Yeah. You can't let that stew, like, literally.
Yeah. So, I guess that's really it. I feel like I kind of mixed my stuff up together. Like, some of my floats your boat might have been under character names, which,
that's okay. Yeah. It's more loose here with the manga reviews because it's so much material to condense into one episode.
Yeah.
I'll go through the floats your boat that I have left, which is still several. I appreciated when Hajime admitted to Sawa that it was his bad for sleeping on the floor after she apologized to him multiple times for stepping on his face. He's like, hey, No, it was my bad. So I appreciated that. I'm like, because it kind of was. Like,
Yeah.
you were sleeping on the floor, my guy. Um, another Hajime floats your boat. I forget what prompted this, but I think they were talking about how he's, like, out of sorts in the rain and he sleeps on the floor. And, like, maybe Mutsuki said something about, like, a cat. And he's like, come on, I'm not a cat. Not once since I was born have I turned into a cat when embraced. And I thought that was so funny. I'm like, oh, I love this. This is so Fruits Basket.
Yes.
I also have, despite being a person who tries not to get involved and keep to herself, Sawa wants to give 100% to being in the student council, which is a great start. It's like she might have been thrust into it, but she was like, okay, well, I'm just going to do my best. And I really, really thought that was admirable because that's not an easy choice to make.
Yeah.
Mutsuki says something about when Hajime went to spend a night at his place, he supposedly wouldn't stop talking about how much he missed his mom, and whether or not that's true, there's got to be a shred of truth to that. And I'm like, that's fucking adorable. Like, of course, it's Toru. You would miss Toru. Okay, so Riku says, and I believe I interpreted that right, Riku said that he always wanted to ask Sawa to have lunch with him, right?
So Riku, I think, is either friends or is cool with Amane. Amane had, like, the short black hair and was
Okay.
one of Sawa's, like, other friends. And so Amane had always wanted to have lunch with her. And I
Okay.
think that she confided that in Riku. And that's why Riku was irritated when he saw Sawa having lunch with Ruriko, because he was
Okay.
like, well, Amane always wanted to have lunch with you. Why wouldn't you give her the time of day, but you're giving it to Ruriko, not knowing that Ruriko literally imposed herself on
Yeah.
Sawa.
Okay, because I was like, that's a bold move, and also I loved him immediately. Despite that or not, him like going up to her is also very bold and like, whoa. But yeah, I liked that introduction for Riku.
Mhm.
I liked also the openness about the zodiac curse in the family. Thinking on it a little bit, I guess it is something that they should know, should some of those pieces of the trauma continue to affect their parents and potentially them. So I like that there was an openness about that, even though it's like kind of a weird and touchy subject.
Mhm.
I just have that Sawa is happy to have found people who accept her and see the good in what she does, and this happiness motivates her to keep trying to do better.
Mhm.
I like that Mutsuki has a vegetable garden, like Yuki. He's like, oh, I revived the one my dad used to have. I was like, it's also just kind of nice to see this come back because it was completely abandoned in the anime.
It was thoroughly abandoned. So
Yeah, completely.
yeah.
There's a moment where Sawa notices the different roof tile in what used to be Toru's room, and I was like, memories. Sora offers to have her and Riku go kick Sawa's mom's butt if she's the reason she's thinking about not going to the vacation house. I'm like, that's great. I like that people are supporting her through this difficult time in their own way. I also just adore, I guess it's almost low-key Rocky Road, Mutsuki's relationship with his family. The fact that
That was yeah.
I can
that-
wait. I'll wait.
that-
I'll wait for you. Yeah.
yeah.
It is Rocky Road because it's just, oh my God. I love them. I love them so much. Also, low-key Rocky Road, Sawa, very scared, asks Mutsuki if her mother had caused any trouble for the Sohma family. And his first response is to reassure her that she hasn't done anything wrong. I just wrote, I really like Mutsuki. He's shown like such gentleness with others. Just like, similar to Yuki, and just like a way around their feelings. So I just really enjoyed that moment very much.
Especially because you could see that she was very much so traumatized.
Mm-hmm.
And like she was in a dark place, but she was trying to take accountability. And so him automatically trying to soothe her, that was very kind of him to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. We also have Kinu telling Sawa not to start, overthinking about her mother. She says she isn't worth getting heartsick over. I wrote here. She says, your life is yours and yours alone. No one has the right to take that from you, not even your parents. If someone threatens to take it from you, you have the right to run away and never look back. You're more than allowed to protect yourself. And I was just like, finger snaps, because I think, again, as Fruits Basket does, as Takaya Sensei does, like words that somebody needs to hear.
Yeah. I think the fact that they made it a thing, which I guess it's more Rocky Road, but just, some people don't have a good relationship with their family, And that doesn't mean that they should be ostracized or that they don't need community or that they don't need to be cared about. It's, in fact, quite the opposite. Like, they do need that love and tenderness and care.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that they spoke on it because although they were able to make so much strides and stuff in having their families and having this new generation of Sohmas, it's like if somebody wanted to be like, I'm cutting ties, right? Or you don't hear about them, that's also fine too.
Yeah.
Which maybe that's why we don't see Kureno's, like, oh, sorry. I was like, maybe that's why we don't see Kureno's kids and whatever. Or kid, I don't know.
That's a great point. Because I feel like if he told Uotani what happened, she would be like, well, we're never fucking going back there. She would probably, not convince, but what's the word I'm looking for? Help him maybe realize that that was toxic and maybe he needed some time away. So maybe that is what is happening.
Yeah, like, we're family from afar. Like...
Yeah, by blood.
Yeah.
I did put in Floats Your Boat when Sawa tearfully asks Shiki to be her friend, and she's like holding his hand and he accepts. I thought that was cute. Again, very innocent, so I felt that that was safe to put in Floats Your Boat. And then time and time again, Sawa chooses to look up instead of down towards the end of the manga. You know, I'm just more and more proud of her. And my last Floats Your Boat is actually that Akito treated Shiki with nothing but love. And we see in one of the panels, Toru, like you can see the back of Toru, like teaching her and Shiki how to play hand games. Because like Akito never had any of that. So she had to learn that too. And Toru helped them. That's so sweet. It's almost low-key Rocky Road, you know? And it's also sweet, like, regardless of our feelings of the characters in the main series, I think it's very sweet, that panel when you see Shigure, Akito, and baby Shiki reading together. It's like, oh, they are a happy little unit. And I'm glad that that worked out for them.
Yeah, I feel like the best thing about Shiki, or one of the best things about Shiki, is that Shiki was able to heal Akito in some way. So it's like, although Akito wasn't able to have the childhood that she deserved, right? She was able to give that to her own child. And then in raising him, it's like she was also able to kind of get those same moments and stuff. So being able to learn like these different games and figure out what books to read and stuff like that, I think she was able to heal part of herself while raising her son.
I think so too.
And so, yeah, so it was nice to see that.
Yeah. Getting into Banana Split, I will kick it off since I had you do your Floats Your Boat. I will do my Banana Split. So before I got used to the characters, this is funny, it was giving Fruits Basket Uncanny Valley to me a little bit. Just like the way they resembled the main cast, but like they weren't the main cast. I was like, wait, this is a little weird. So it took me some like getting used to. It's interesting to see that there seems to be some perhaps lingering effects from the Zodiac Curse on the new generation. They talk about how Hajime is out of sorts on rainy days and that he sleeps on the floor to cool down like a cat. And also Riku's sideburns are dark, but the rest of his hair is white. There's probably other stuff that I missed, but I was like, it's interesting that there's like kind of shreds of it, even though the curse is gone. It's just like a little confusing, but kind of just, I don't know, kind of cool.
I was confused by Hajime's hair color because in one manga it looked like it was orange, and then in the other in another one it looked like it was brown, and I was just like,
I must have scrolled like, too fast past the pictures. I just assumed it was white and dark like Hatsuharu's.
Oh no, Hajime.
Oh, Hajime, right? Oh, okay, yeah, Hajime's is like orange.
That's the thing, because on one of the volume covers, it looks brown. And then in one of the volumes, it looks orange. And I was just like, make up your mind.
Yeah.
Printing people. Because, like, is his hair, questions. Like, okay? Like, yes. Is he, okay, personality is Kyo, looks like Kyo, hair is Toru? Or, like, what is it? What is going on?
Right, pick one and stick to it.
Yes.
I will admit the exposition did get pretty exhausting for me. towards the beginning of the manga, I was like, okay, I just want to see more events and like get to know them and not just go through dialogue after dialogue of who's cousin twice removed. I was like, it's getting to be a bit much.
Yeah.
Another thing that's just like it's a personal problem. At times there were just so many characters in one scene that it was like too much for my brain. Like I sometimes didn't know who was talking because there were so many characters that it could have been. If the bubbles weren't directly attached to a mouth, I feel like this is why I'm like an anime only. It's just easier for me to digest a lot of things that way. But I know that's a personal problem.
No, I felt that way too. And I would also say some of the lettering choices kind of threw me off.
Same.
Because then I'm just kind of like, okay, this is a different font. Are they saying it in a different like way? Or like, oh, when Mutsuki's feeling princely, then he speaks in a certain font.
Yeah.
And stuff. But then sometimes you would see that font with other people. And so then I was just like,
yes, exactly.
Okay.
A little confusing. Yeah. I would love to see this adapted, though, in general. Just throwing it out there. It would be very interesting. A cool little OVA situation. But,
right, yeah.
Okay, I have Hajime wants to go to the same high school as his parents to learn more about them. I'm like, that's so unrealistic. I couldn't, my brain couldn't. I'm like, no, you don't.
Actually, yeah, so when I saw that, another thing about this that was very unrealistic to me, or at least what came across as unrealistic to me, is just the parents not being around. That was highly unrealistic to me. I know that we're supposed to focus on the kids, so I don't mind them doing stuff at school, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but to me, it's like all of y'all just being in this house and being cool with it is unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, Hajime, makes sense. Your parents are in another town. Maybe you want to pursue your studies in the city. Fine. I get it.
Yeah.
Mutsuki, I don't get it because it's like, okay, if Yuki and Machi are doing whatever work that they're doing, and like there's a vignette about how close their bond is. Him living away from his parents does not make sense to me.
I agree. Yeah.
I just think it makes sense for certain people. So Kinu, it makes sense. You're an adult. You're basically an adult. So like it makes sense and you're going to college, fine. Hajime makes sense. Parents are far away. You're trying to pursue your studies or whatever. Fine. Mutsuki, it doesn't make sense. I think on top of it, the children absolutely doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
What do you mean Mina is sick and she's in this house? What is her mom doing?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Your cousins are taking... How do you feel comfortable as a parent leaving your child is sick and then just like leaving them with other people? Like, okay, yes, y'all have business trips, but y'all wouldn't have business trips all the fucking time.
Yeah, it's excessive the way, like how unreachable all of these people are.
Yeah. Like, I know that they want the focus to be on the kids, and I think it can still be on the kids, but...
We're also wondering where their parents are. Where's the faculty? Where's their parents? We see more faculty because we have Megumi, but,
Megumi, yeah. But where's the parents? Like, I still think they could have just been around. I think Mutsuki could have been living with Yuki and them, and you could have just seen Machi in passing. I don't think that would have been a big deal. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. Okay, so this is me trying to enjoy it again for what it is and calling it an innocent crush. Shiki is always restless before seeing Sawa. He's nervous. And even so, like, despite all that restlessness, despite all those nerves, he always wants to see her again after they part. I'm like, sweet, banana split, because I can't get behind it. Cool.
Yeah.
And my last banana split has Akito actually atoned for anything. Shiki thinks about how Akito opened up to him about her past mistakes, the people she hurt, and how she atoned for that. So I'm like, okay, so it did happen. But also, she doesn't attend any Sohma family gatherings. So I'm like, okay, maybe she hasn't fully atoned and she keeps a distance like for the peace or something. I don't like that she's saying that she atoned for it, but she's still keeping a distance, because I feel like, you know, if she tried to make strides in doing better and making things right in a way that she was forgiven, she wouldn't have to skip the family events.
I feel like, to me, this is something, I don't feel like she's properly atoned. And I think that if she was going to atone, it should have happened before she gave birth. Or if anything, while she was pregnant. I think that, to me, like, when something traumatic happens within a family, right, there's gonna be a cooling off period because both sides are hot. But then once you aren't as livid or angry and you still want to try to be a family and to have like these different events and to show up, and it's not like cats and dogs and anger and everything, there needs to be some form of like reconciliation.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be like automatic either. It's like you need to have a discussion, right? Like that first discussion of, okay, what's your side? This is my side. What are we going to do now? Or what of your side could I understand? And what of my side can you understand? And how are we going to move forward? And then it's once you have those conversations, then you can start trying to essentially bridge the gap. Like, okay, at that point, you can at least make it surface level. Like, oh, how was your day? Or how was this? Or whatever, right? And it can be surface level for the rest of the time, cordial for the rest of the time, it's fine. But still, having that initial conversation, or conversations, it could take more than one.
Yeah.
To then build that, I feel like that is what actual atonement is. Like, you can't hurt somebody and then you or get hurt and then just assume, oh, well, we have a family event, show up. That's no, because why would I put myself in a position to be around somebody that either hurt me or that I hurt and we haven't properly like had a conversation yet? Like, that doesn't make sense and everything. And I don't think that I don't think people should do that amongst a lot of people, even if it is your intermediate family. I don't think that that type of thing, that's how you build, that's how you have atonement. And so the fact that Akito is still holding herself apart from people, I don't feel like she is able to atone, because to me it's like you can't even handle the heat, and that's why you're not showing up to these things. We could say that technically her initial conversation was that last banquet, right? But then you have to either have another conversation or then start having surface level conversation, or saying, I apologize for doing this stuff to you, right? And I feel that if she had done that, and Shigure wasn't so possessive, but if Akito had done that, Shiki wouldn't have the level of doubt within himself that he was struggling with in Fruits Basket Another, because he was mirroring his parents. Yeah. So if his parents feel this burden of, this is everything that Akito did to these other family members, she hurt all these other family members, of course you're going to be like, can I even go around them? Because if they're mad, I have to understand it, right? And then it's like also unfair to him in that I don't think she's properly atoned, but she has changed. Yeah. Because Shiki's a testament to that she's changed. And so Shiki has this level of frustration, right? Where to the point where he punches the mirror, because he knows what his mother did, but he also knows that she's changed. He also knows that his mom's still not coming around like the family, and that people are saying these negative things despite the fact that she's making these changes. And he's so frustrated because his mom is doing it one way and he's trying to respect that, but then they're still getting attacked regardless. It's like this catch-22, and he doesn't know how to handle that emotion.
I'm like, I need the side series of Akito atoning so badly. I will write it. Someone tell me what to do. I will write it.
Yeah.
But that is all of my banana split. Do you have any remaining to share?
I was banana split on, okay, so the scene where Hajime was just like, I'm not going to turn into a cat if you embrace me.
Yeah.
And then Mutsuki pushes Sawa onto Hajime.
I agree.
And,
yeah.
And I was just like, okay, I get it because you're showing that he's not going to change, but it's also just like consent.
Yep, 100%.
It's like I didn't like that. And I was just essentially banana split about it because like I got why it was being done, but I was banana split about it. I was also banana split about them trying to pair essentially a 13-year-old with a 16-year-old.
Oh, just banana split?
Well, I mean, rage, but like...
Okay. It's ice cream and scream for me. Yeah.
Like, rage, but I think it was more so... I was kind of hoping it wasn't going to happen. I was hoping that they were just... I think mentally, I was like, maybe they're just going to be cool. It doesn't have to be romance. Like, they're just... Like, oh, he has a little crush, but he gets over it because... You know, so when they were, like, talking to each other in the forest, and then, like, Hajime and Mutsuki were like, oh my gosh, it's like seeing the future, and it's just, like, just because this, in general, this is something that's very real. People change all the time. Like, you're always going to end up meeting a new version of yourself. So, the person I liked in middle school, I would not like now as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a different person.
Yeah. And so are they.
And I don't fully know them. I might know things about them, but I don't fully know them.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you're moving through different experiences and you're becoming different people, like, are there high school sweethearts? Yes. But it is more rare than it is normal.
Yeah.
And so to me, it was just kind of like... Okay, I get that it all worked for your parents' generation, right? That was unrealistic. A lot of them were trauma bonding. Like, to be frank, they were trauma bonding. Oof. Riku, your parents are codependent as fuck. Like, trauma bonding. Machi and Yuki, trauma bonding. Toru and Kyo, trauma bonding. Yes, high school sweethearts, but like who you meet in public school isn't necessarily who you're going to be with for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So to me, I think I just didn't really like, I think the banana split part was more so like Mina being like, y'all can go to the aquarium together. And I'm just like, they even have the child in on this? Like,
yeah.
Oh, banana split, we're not really going to get into it for real. The Musketeer vignettes.
Oh, yeah. I meant to mention that.
I like the epilogue, but I like the epilogue stuff, vignettes. The Musketeer vignettes where they're just like, the anime's coming out.
It was I could take it or leave it. Maybe it was exciting to get that in real time, but to like, for us to have to be like, hey, we have to read this manga because we're going to do it on the podcast and we're both doing a billion other things in our lives right now. I'm in the middle of painting this apartment and all that. So it's just like, okay, that was like a lot of filler. It was just filler. It was nice to see those characters. And, you know, Ayame's antics and Shigure's antics and Hattori being like, well, geez, I gotta deal with it. We didn't need like 9 or 10 of them or however many we got, you know? It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. And I feel like especially, like, they're showing the Musketeer vignettes and it's like, all of this is pre-kids. So it was like post-Toru and them's graduation or in and around that time.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, so nobody's going to just talk. So we're not going to be like, Mayu's pregnant right now. Like, you know.
Right, yeah. Especially when they're talking about trying to make Hattori look romantic when he's like driving the car or whatever. You could have just said something about Mayu expecting, you know.
Yeah, like, I think it would have helped, at least with our timeline. I know essentially we figured it out, but still, like, it would have been nice to see a vignette of them post being parents. To just be like, what is that like of them all being parents and then being around each other.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I also thought, one, Banana Split, Ayame taking Mine on vacation. I get that he did it because Mine's dad died. I don't know how to feel about them choosing to leave their children to watch over the stores to do that, because Mine's dad is also Hibika's and Chizuru's grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I'm just kind of like, wouldn't all of y'all be fucked up?
Yeah, you think everybody would be mourning right now, grieving.
Yeah. So it's like, I think it's nice that he was like, oh, I want to go cheer her up because she's been down. But then wouldn't you want to cheer up all of them? And then that's outside of the fact that you're having these stores and you're just leaving your middle schooler to just go figure. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I get that you're raised in the shop, but that's a lot to put on a middle school kid. To be like, oh, put this away or figure this stuff out or whatever and stuff. Outside of the fact that Hibika, I know he snitched somewhere where he was, Chizuru was like, you need to talk to Hibika because Hibika left me to go to Paris, which that was also fucked up too. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, I put that in nuts because, I mean, that's insane to just decide you feel like going to Paris and leaving immediately.
Right, just leaving immediately, leaving your middle school age brother to like, it's just very weird. I feel like they're just lax on their kids. Oh, Banana Split Hanajima's foreigner husband. Like, who is that?
Right, who is
that?
Yeah, random.
What?
I'm glad it wasn't Kazuma. That's why it was just all flipped
I mean, amen.
Yeah.
Amen. But like, who? Nothing about current. Well, I mean, we do get a little bit like when he was a child, but it's like adult life. Like, we just don't see him at all. Okay.
Alrighty. Well, let us get into Rocky Road. I imagine we have lots of feelings to get through here. I know I do. Would you like to go through your Rocky Road points?
Sure. So, Sawa's mom, it's like Rocky Road hot fudge for me.
Yeah, I put
Rocky
some
Road.
parts of their relationship into Rocky Road and most of them into hot fudge. I have like a wall of points for hot fudge.
Yeah, I just don't think, some people just don't need to be parents.
Yes, and Sawa's mother is certainly one of them.
Yeah, I feel so bad for her. I mean, obviously I get it, but I feel bad for her of just how hopeless she was. And like, I get that, like, even to the point of when we find out, it's also hot fudge, but when we find out that Sawa's mom is the reason why she lost those friends when she was in elementary school and how traumatic it was, like, I felt bad for her because I remember when I was young, and one, it was a very nasty habit. Like, my parent would compare me to my friends, which is not good. I obviously don't recommend you doing that, but it's just kind of like, oh, well, this person is doing this much better. Like, why can't you be like that? Or, oh, this, why can't you do that? Which is really, like, messed up to say to a child, to constantly, like, be comparing them to other people and not even just family or whatever. But outside of that, like, we moved to a different city than, like, my hometown. And then I was trying to make new friends. And something, obviously, like, it's not as if my dad's ever going to cop up to this, but, like, one of my friends was, like a boy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, like, nice. We were quite literally the same height. I'm short. It wasn't anything romantic at all. And because he was, like, a boy, he called our house, and then my dad answered, and then acted like he was going to tell me, and he just didn't tell me.
Oh my god.
And apparently this had happened a couple of times. And so then it was just like, I moved to this new place. I don't know anybody, like, here. And I'm trying to, like, make friends. And you're sabotaging it because of gender roles.
Yeah.
Like, or like, oh, you think that I'm trying. And it's like, I'm not trying to date, like, anyone. And then on top of it, what was also kind of shitty was that, like, so if I was doing a play, if I had a track meet, if I had whatever, unless it was, like, quite literally at home or at the school, they were not going to come.
Hmm.
And so when you're trying to like make friends and then there's this rule of I need to know their parents, how are you going to know their parents if you don't go to any of my extracurricular events to be able to meet the other parents that are there supporting like their kids or whatever?
Yeah.
So to me, it's like when I saw that, now mind you, not that I had a great situation, but it was not as bad as Sawa's, in the sense of my parent is bad mouthing me to people my age to ruin my relationship
Yeah.
with them. It wasn't that bad, but I still had it. So it's like I got it, but it made me so sad for her because it was a very traumatic moment for her to lose all of those friends and not understand why, and to find out that it was all her mom's fault. And then her mom turned around and was just like, oh, you're hopeless, like nobody likes you. And it's like, you literally orchestrated this level of hate. Like, why would you do that to her?
Yeah.
You know, like if you don't like her that much, why didn't you let her go with her dad or force the dad to have full custody or something?
Yeah. I feel like I put more specific stuff into Rocky Road, but it's mostly Sawa's response to the abuse is what makes it, this half of it, Rocky Road.
Yeah.
Like when she comes home and she's like too tired to deal with her because she's an energy vampire. And she's like, seeing my mom always makes me tired for some reason. And she's always like beating herself up, thinking like how she ought to be grateful because her mother brought her into the world and raised her and, you know, stuff like that. I also thought in particular that it was terrible that she came home so scared because she noticed the lights on. So she figured her mother would be home, but her mother just left without turning the lights out. And she just was filled with so much fear at something as simple as coming to home, like with the lights still on.
Yeah.
Also, like towards the end of the manga, her self-soothing after she finds like the ruins of her mother's tantrum is just very, very sad. She's like, it's okay. I'm not alone. It's okay. And she's wondering when she'll finally be like free from all that and if it'll only happen after she grows up, which again, like I really wish we got the closure on that to know.
Yeah.
After she learns about her mother trying to sue the Sohmas, she cries so much that she exhausts herself to fall asleep. That's a lot of tears. And I'm just glad that she wasn't at home when she fell asleep. You know, she was with people who cared about her so she could wake up in peace.
Right, yeah. I was happy that she was able to like have that experience and stuff because it's just really hard to try to be around people. Like, one, I'm glad that they were very understanding of her and they knew that it wasn't her fault at all and they were doing their best to reassure her. But it's almost like if she can't ruin Sawa, she'll ruin people's perception of Sawa.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, I've experienced that as well, of like people that are supposed to be close to you, like bad mouthing you as if you aren't related to them, right? Or as if you didn't see them grow up or whatever. And her crying so much, it's like she was so afraid because so much of the positive aspects of her new life came because of the fact that the Sohmas like took her in, and the idea that her mom almost ruined that for her entirely. Like, I felt so bad for her.
Me too.
And her tears and her trauma, and like you could see it in her eyes and stuff. And also I would say Shiki as well. Shiki just getting those notes, that's also like Rocky Road as well, because I think it's enough that people had issues with Akito, but then to be leaving him like all of these hateful notes. Where are the cops? Like, I don't know, like,
Right. Yeah.
y'all, like, because going after children, that doesn't...
Right. And I'm sure Shiki can't fathom his mother being a bad person because she's shown him nothing but love.
Right.
But yet he's spent his life surrounded by the pain she has caused, reverberating throughout the older generation of his family and getting those notes. So he's internalized that, and he feels like in a way that he has to pay for it too. So he starts avoiding everybody and everything and trying not to get involved with the family. And at one point, Hajime says that Shiki was, quote, the kind of kid whom you could hit and he wouldn't make a sound. I'm like, oh my God, you know, I hurt for him, you know, to be going through that.
Yeah, it's not his fault. And like, that's why, like, if Akito properly like atoned, then when it came to this notes issue, then Akito would have every right to go batshit. Like, oh, how dare you do this to my child? I get that you have issues with me, but don't ever come for my, like, child. Or then even if Akito's not going to be the one to do it, then Shigure could very much be the one to be like, how dare you go after, like, my son?
Yeah.
Like, leave my son out of it. If you have an issue, talk directly, like, to me. I don't know why you would go after, like, a child. Like, that's, like, those parental, like, instincts. I think it would have done something for me to have seen that type of reaction from them, because even if you did harm to all these other people, somebody harming your child, you have every right to like go off for that, or like to put your foot down.
Yeah, for sure. I think, I don't know, he kept the notes from his parents, I guess, to protect them from that negativity, which is also sad to think about. Do you have any more Rocky Road?
Not really.
Okay, I'll start with, because I'm scrolled down here, Akito's eternity. Shiki reflects, she's blamed when she gets involved. She's blamed when she stays away. No matter how she lives, it never changes. No matter how she tries to make amends, it never changes. Nothing changes. It's eternity. A curse of nothing being allowed to change. And I was just like, wow, what an awful way of your wish
coming true,
of forever unchanging to come to fruition. Yeah. Like, it sounds like maybe she is trying, but we don't know how. Again, I want the series. I want to see it.
Yeah.
There's also an offhand mention of Machi's relationship with her parents never improving. That's really sad. They don't deserve her anyway, though, so whatever.
True.
Hajime and Mutsuki talk about Zodiac curse. Hajime says, people would say I look just like my father, and I'd see his nervous smile, like, I hope you don't turn into a monster. Oh my gosh, it's just Kyo's trauma reverberating through. And then Mutsuki says later, maybe it's special for our dads to see us side by side like this. And I'm like, I think it is. Because it's special for me to see you guys side by side like that.
Yeah, because it would have been them if they weren't like, I admire you, punch. I admire you, punch.
Right. There was that moment where Hajime tries to tell Sawa to rely on others when she wants or needs to, but all she thinks about is how she doesn't deserve to have those words said to her because she's incapable of doing anything good. Again, more about her mother's effects on her. There's also like a distant or like dissociative happiness that Sawa feels at least twice, I think, in the manga. She's like sort of dissociating in the middle of the sukiyaki party. She's trying to put a finger on what it is she's feeling, because she's like, I don't know what this emotion is. I haven't like felt this. And then when she figures out it's happiness, that is this hazy feeling to her, I'm like, oh, it reminds me of a time, and I'll be very brief, in my early 20s when I hadn't felt excitement for anything in a really, really, really long time. And I remember I was like going to a Halloween party, and I was just like, what is this emotion? And I was like, oh my God, I'm excited. That's what that is. It just like, it reminded me of that. It's like, it's very sad to go through something like that. I hope nobody listening can relate.
I mean, I can relate. The way that things are, I just feel as if I can't even fully like be happy. I've been beaten down enough. I'm kind of waiting for the universe to either realize that before I make them realize. Leave me alone.
Right, honestly, leave Chika alone, universe.
Yes, please.
On the distant happiness thing, she like thanks Mutsuki for pulling her up and allowing her to feel happiness. She's heard so many people want to be her friend lately that she thinks she's heard it enough to last a lifetime, which again is sad. But you know, it's nice that it's out of happiness. It's like a happy sad. She's overjoyed to the point where she feels like she might have a fever the next day at one point. I forget. I think it was when Amane wants to have lunch with her and she says like, see you tomorrow. And she's like, this is the first time I've looked forward to tomorrow. Oh my God. Like, damn,
Yeah.
that really hit me. And she's like, after the sukiyaki party, she doesn't want coming home to an empty house to dim her mood. So she chooses to take a bath and go straight to bed and focus on the things that made her happy that day. And I'm just like, I wrote down, I'm so glad she finally has those things and that she has something else to look forward to the next day, because that's really huge when you're going through a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I did put the childhood rejection stuff into Rocky Road after we got more context that the children ousted Sawa because of things that her mother did. And I know that there's layers of hot fudge there, but it's more so seeing it from the children's perspective. Like, they felt like it was something that they had to do to preserve their safe space. And that's incredibly sad. And of course, one more reason to hate her mother. When they rejected her, they were like, they wouldn't give her a reason. And they were just like, take a look at yourself and find out. And I'm like, geez, like, I would be questioning myself ever since that day too. Like, and the fear of rejection just came to be so strong that looking at the ground became second nature to her. And that's how she didn't have any awareness of the Sohmas and who they were, because she was just wanting to disappear, like looking down even out of habit after a certain point. And it's just very sad. And again, all about her mother in hot fudge, which we'll certainly get to soon. I have Sawa's social anxiety. It was very, very palpable on the page. I have like a quote here where she's like, don't say anything stupid, don't overwhelm yourself, calm down. Like, she has very, very bad social anxiety. I took a picture of a scene where Sawa calls Riku over to chat, and she immediately falls apart inside, second guessing taking up his time, thinking about how scared she was to talk to him, wishing she could turn back time to start over, and then, oh, I need to hurry up because now he's waiting for me to say something. And she's like wanting to get sick over it. And I was like, that is a fantastic representation of extreme social anxiety. I don't have it nearly that bad, but when it hits, it does hit. And I feel like Takaya Sensei really portrayed how harrowing it can be on the pages very well throughout Fruits Basket and Other.
Yeah.
And I just have one more. That is, throughout the manga, Sawa talks multiple times about people seeing her negative side. There's a moment where Hajime asks her if she doesn't get along with her mother, and she freezes because the truth is a negative answer, which would dampen the vibes, and she struggles immensely on whether or not to say anything. This is deeply relatable to me. I'm going to keep it short. I know I talked about, I think it might have been on the Fruits Basket finale episode. It was one of our recent episodes. I talked about an interaction with a friend who like saw me in a bad mood and then took it personally and then never invited me to anything again. And I feel like a lot throughout my life I have been told to make myself more palatable. So like this just resonates deeply with me.
It resonates with me as well. I feel like I'm still, I think I'm there. But I want you to finish your point before I like go launch into stuff.
Oh no, that's okay. I was just going to go over a few more instances of her doing this throughout the manga. She starts to wonder if it's okay for the Sohmas to see her negative side. Like when she thinks about things like she'd be better off without her mother around, she's like, maybe they won't criticize or avoid me. Maybe they will stay. And I just wrote in all caps, it hurts because it's relatable. You know, it's like, maybe if I like am honest, it'll be okay. Like about my feelings, you know, like maybe this person will understand if I open up. Maybe. It's very relatable. She also fears what Shiki would think if he learned that she was a, quote, bad person, even though her mother has convinced her that she is a bad person when all of her feelings are valid. And at the end of the manga, which like really got me, like instead of wishing the negative parts of herself away that she's been pushing down the whole manga, that she claims are negative, they are just feelings. She chooses to keep those thoughts, that anxiety, that sadness, even that anger, so that all of those parts of her can grow together one step at a time. That really got me. And I actually teared up when I was making that note because I just wrote in all caps, wow, like that's so powerful for me as someone who relates so strongly to that feeling.
Yeah, I relate to her a lot. I feel like I'm mentally where Sawa like was prior to having the Sohmas and stuff. Although like
I'm sorry.
Obviously I still have like positive, I say obviously, I don't know, like I have Giana, but it's like I don't know, I feel like human relationships are very complex. Yeah. So how somebody might be with me is not necessarily how they're going to be with other people, or even with Giana too. I feel like I've tried to find community so many times throughout my life, and I've tried to find that found family in the way that Sawa is, and like, okay, maybe my home life is like this, but there are these other people that believe in me or like me or whatever and see what I'm doing. And I've just been burnt out real bad. Like, it's just, I don't like the idea that I have to make myself palatable for people that aren't even trying to see the full scope of me, right? Like, there are people that are around me, or I wouldn't say around me now because I'm much more reclusive, and I'll probably be even more reclusive next year. Just FYI, y'all. But, like, this idea, it's like people like the idea of me. They don't actually like me, and I can tell by how they, like, treat me and stuff. So it's because they like the idea of me that when I'm going through something or if I'm suffering or whatever, that's not what they feel like hearing, because, oh my gosh, you have this podcast, you got this award. If they're even acknowledging that we have an award and not doing like some weird backhanded compliment thing. Sometimes it amazes me how kind I've tried to be to other people and how it's barely ever reciprocated. I could explain who I am, my backstory, everything, and I can tell when somebody, it's like at first, oh, we're all cool, and then I can see when they take a step back and then they're tolerating me, and then it's just like, I don't really want to be around anybody that's tolerating me. I want to be by people that actually like me. But how many more times do I have to I don't want to do it anymore. So it's like, I would rather just be like, let me just take a step back. So like seeing her struggle through that, I think for me it was nice to see Sawa being able to overcome an issue that I clearly can't.
I'm sorry that that's something that you're still going through. There's a lot happening behind the scenes that people don't know about in both of our lives going on. I hope that as the stones start to lay, as things hopefully, if the universe would please stop, please, and things actually start to like line up, I'm hoping that you'll have more opportunities for better social interactions if your horizons get to be expanded. And I'm keeping it vague on purpose because everybody doesn't need to know your whole life right now. But, you know, I'm over here with my fingers crossed for you and all the good vibes, and I know you know that.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm glad that I have you, so it's not to say that I don't have positivity in my life or whatever. I just think that everything is so heavy, and it makes me question everything, even like our podcast. Not, obviously, we're still going to do the podcast. Yeah. And fake news flash, we're going to be successful even if we're going through the worst shit in our lives. It's just how Giana and I are, quite literally.
Yeah, it's how we're built.
Like, it's how we're built, like the most accomplished people. And I'm not saying that to just be like, oh, I'm like bragging about, I'm very serious. Like, Giana is a multi-instrumentalist. She's able to like bring so many people around her because of her personality. She is a kind and caring person, and besides being musically inclined, she's also like very like producer savvy. So it's like, I can say that about Giana. I can say stuff about like myself as well. I don't really talk about, oh, in real life I do this. But it's like, if I can say that I've worked with at one point like 3 of the richest people in the, I'm being serious, the 3 of the richest people in the world, quite literally, and I'm on the good side because it's not as if I'm rolling in dough. But still, if I can be in rooms like that, like I can accomplish a lot. Or this was a hobby for us, and look at how successful we are at it, you know?
Yeah. To your credit also, you were like, I've never met anybody who can be so on top of shit no matter what is happening. Like, something goes wrong in my day and I'm like, I forgot about 15 things that were supposed to happen, but you're just like, somehow all of my ducks are in a row, or at least you very much make it, at least for the podcast, and like you still make it seem like all of your ducks are never not in a row. They're very organized ducks.
I think you're giving me too much credit.
I'm not. No, there's no way.
No, I mean, podcast-wise, it's just kind of like, okay, I can be like, this is what we can do for this. We could push this off. We could do this. We've got to do this or whatever. Life-wise, if ducks were in a row, I think I would be happier if my ducks were in a row. They're not in a row. They're in disarray right now.
That's the universe's fault and not yours, because we're living in a really weird timeline, and I know we're taught. This is pause from the manga for a second. We're living in a really weird timeline where things are like way harder to achieve that were very normal things to achieve for generations before us. And I don't think that's your fault. I don't think that's something that you're doing.
Yeah. Another thing about being an adult, when bad shit starts piling up on you, you start getting more quiet. Because it's just like, you know, what else is new, kind of. But I don't know. There's so many bad things have been happening. It even affected the podcast in the sense that it's just like, I don't even know how y'all see me. Like, okay, maybe some of the listeners are like cool or whatever, but it's like, do y'all actually like me for real? Like, do you know what I do for this podcast and y'all are being weird towards me? Like, stop. Like,
I don't, I mean, nobody's given the impression to me that I've seen. We have a small but mighty community that I'm so proud of that I'll talk a little bit about later.
Yeah, like later, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that things get better, and I don't want this to really be a big sob story, which is why I'm not, like, disclosing what's going on. I just feel like that's kind of let me talk about it with people that I know, like, actually care versus just saying these things and then y'all just take it like, oh, Chika's having a bad day. Because that's also something that was in my head of, like, it got to a point where I felt like I can't even share what I'm dealing with because they'll just be like, oh, it's another thing with Chika again. And it's like, I quite literally, you could ask Giana, if I could solve my problems, I would solve my problem.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And you are actively doing all that you can to as well. And I'd like to think that our listeners, like part of our community, they wouldn't be part of the community if they didn't enjoy what we make, and hopefully us. I hope so.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess there could be outliers. But if anybody is going to like randomly take the time to listen to the sentence, to listen to Shoujo Sundae, what are you doing? Like,
right.
But to listen to somebody's podcast is wild to me. I don't understand. I don't have the time. I haven't had the time to breathe, you know, so like to imagine somebody doing that is wild to me. So I think like anybody like sitting here listening to our anniversary episode is a genuine like shoujo fan.
But this is a very long rocky road tangent, so my bad.
That's okay. Do you wanna let's derail into nuts? I only have 2 nuts points left. Do you have any?
Just them trying to do the pairing with Shiki and Sawa is just nuts to me.
Yeah.
And also, just like I said, Mina and basically children being around their cousins. Like, yeah, they can be around their cousins, but it's like all the time, like, you need to be a parent. Like, I'm not saying you don't deserve breaks, but come on. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. My nuts point is sleeping on the floor of a classroom is insane, Hajime. That's just asking to get stepped on or smacked with the door or something.
Mm-hmm.
And my other nuts point was being offered a part-time job that starts that day with no notice is crazy. Like,
oh, yeah. Yeah, I would say
I was like,
okay.
What?
Let's start tomorrow. Like,
yeah, like, what is the job? What are the details? What are the hours? What's the pay? I haven't even, like, what?
Yeah, what is the pay?
Yeah.
Who is doing the paying? Like,
right, with Ayame not there and Mine not there, who's paying? Where is it coming
did y'all
from?
have to wait for Hibika to come back from Paris to pay her? So,
right.
Like, okay.
Yeah. Well, let us get into what we've all been waiting for. Hot Fudge.
Yeah.
Before we get into the mother, I did also put the superintendent under Hot Fudge, just because she was, like, facilitating this abuse, even though she's, like, I guess she doesn't know about the reality of Sawa's situation, but, like, it's not her place to be telling her that she's, like, ungrateful and that she's, like, goofing off, or, like, consider all that her mother does as a single job. And she's, you know, she's the one who brought you into this world. I'm just like, it's not your business, lady. Shut the fuck up.
I think that Sawa's mom is a prostitute. No offense to sex workers at all.
Oh, see, I just thought that she just was maybe promiscuous.
No, I think that she's a prostitute and that's how she gets her money, because it doesn't really make sense for her to I mean, I guess the one good thing is that if she is a prostitute, this is not, like, that's not that Takaya said this, guys.
Yeah.
This is my own headcanon. I think the only good thing is that Sawa's mom doesn't bring the work to the house or to the apartment.
Yeah.
Right.
If that is the case, yeah.
If that is the case.
Mm-hmm.
But her being gone for days at a time, it's like either you're a prostitute or you're a sugar baby of some kind, or you're a kept woman of some kind, because the type of person that she is, I don't see her being able to have like a regular work situation, because if she's this vindictive with her own child and she's dealing like with other, I can't see her being able to work with that many other women without these types of tendencies coming out, right? And so that's why I'm just like, what type of work could she do where she's gone from the apartment days at a time? And it plays into her either being hateful to her daughter, jealous of her daughter, not wanting to bring her clients home in case that they want to take Sawa. And then it's like a competition versus being like, oh my gosh, call the police because that's a predator type of shit. Like,
yeah. That's interesting to consider. I just thought she was like promiscuous, but she is gone for lengths of time. She doesn't bring her cell phone. I wrote like a whole laundry list of all the things she did, but I don't think I need to rattle it all off. I mean, it's like a wall of text. I mean, there's just countless ways that this woman abused her daughter, neglected her daughter, judged her daughter, you know, got into so much business about her daughter that she didn't need to, particularly when she abandons her and she ends up getting hurt. And little Sawa knew that her mother wasn't going to come back. She just knew that she wasn't going to come back for her and she'd have to like go home by herself. Like,
and she was crying on the steps.
Yeah, she was crying on the steps for hours. She's a wonderfully written villain. I don't think I have ever hated a mother in fiction as much as I've hated Sawa's mother.
It's just a lot. And like I understood how Sawa was feeling, especially because it's like her being so tired and hating where she lives and hating that life. It's like constantly being on eggshells fucking sucks. Because it's just like, you can't ever, like, and that's the thing, like, when you have kids, what's really important is to give them this sense of stability, right? And Sawa's never able to just have that because her mom is either upset because she's not respecting her enough, supposedly, or then she is upset because it's like she doesn't like her child, and so she's reiterating all of this hateful talk and rhetoric towards her, and then she's then either delighted or likes the fact that it seems as if nobody likes her, and and you can't ever just have like some level, like playing field level emotion of maybe if I don't interact, maybe if I look down, maybe if I don't say anything, like nothing that you do ever works, because if she wants to have an argument, if she wants to have a spat, if she wants to have a temper tantrum, you just have to weather through it regardless.
Yeah, she'll find a way to have her outburst because she feels it's right.
Right. And like, I know what that feels like, and I felt so bad for Sawa, and it made me just hate the mom even more, because it's like, you're already ruined her life. Like,
yeah.
What else? Like, why don't you at least just leave her be? I think if anything, the fact that she was able to even sue the Sohmas, right? And it's like, how that didn't turn into a situation of calling like the Japanese version of Child Protective Services.
I wrote, where is CPS in my notes, yeah.
Like, if Shiki had said something, which also it's like, I know it's his trauma and that's why he did it, but if Shiki had told the truth, then it also could have been a situation of Child Protective Services. What do you mean this kid at this hour of the day saw her crying on these stairs, came back from a car, saw her crying again hours later, physically walked back, she was still like whatever, and then she had fallen down the steps?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then, even without Shiki saying anything, where were you that she fell and nobody witnessed it? So you weren't there to witness it. Like, yeah.
Do you have any more hot fudge, or are you ready to move into ice cream, you scream?
I guess ice cream, you scream, because I feel like for me, it was just mostly like Sawa's mother.
Yeah.
It wasn't hot fudge. I mentioned in Banana Split that I just don't think it's realistic that all of these parents are not with their kids and stuff. Like, they're well-rounded. I'm glad to see they're well-rounded, but they should also be with their family, you know, at this age. But yeah.
I agree, for sure. I already mentioned this already, but even a generation later, the fan clubs haven't fizzled out.
Oh, yeah.
So I wasn't happy about that, especially because we get a whole fan club intermission, like, half chapter, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I hate the idea, like, it is worse. What Ruriko is doing is worse, because it's like,
sure.
You got
it's the whole family.
You got photos of their family from, like, Motoko, and then you're like, oh, privacy, like, put a line on it, but you're still passing them out.
Yeah.
You're, like, getting fans made and then passing them out to, like, the student body. You are talking about doing a history of their family. It's just so grossly invasive. I really just detest the idea of the fan club.
Me too. And then, of course, we've said it enough, but Sawa and Shiki being the ship. I just can't get behind it. The age gap. You know, even in chapter 12, Sawa tries to say that Shiki isn't her boyfriend, and one of the reasons she lists is like, he's only a first year in middle school. I'm like, oh, so there's awareness there. Okay, cool. Cool. Great. Awesome.
Right. Which, I mean, I think for me, it would have worked, right? Because they had a vignette where it shows that they're clearly together and they're gonna buy, like, flowers, Mother's Day flowers for Akito.
Yeah.
Which I guess is the actual proper epilogue. Although it doesn't say shit about how Sawa was able to overcome dealing with her mother. But to me, I think if they didn't push that, right? If they weren't like, oh, like father like son. I remember when I saw that and I was like, that's disgusting, because they're like saying like father like son. And it's like, are you referring to when Shigure was slept with Ren? Which that was also like what are you talking about?
Yeah.
How are you formatting it? Or then they're just being like, oh, Shigure was in love with Akito when she was in her mom's stomach. And I'm just like,
I thought I wrote that somewhere too. And I can't find it. But yeah, I was like,
that was
what?
Gross.
Yeah.
I think if they had just taken that out, and they just made it as if they were friends. And then you have that little epilogue about the flowers, and then it's like, oh, they got together. I would have been okay with that.
Yeah.
I would have been okay with that because they were clearly older in that like scene with the Valentine's Day flowers. And so then it was just like, okay, I don't have any misgivings about this because they're both wearing regular clothes, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know like what age they are, but they're clearly no longer in school.
Yeah.
And so that would have been fine of like, okay, you're building up this friendship and everything. Or even hinting that Shiki had this like crush. A little crush.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like just everybody emphasizing it grossed me out because it's like, why would you... I get that you want Shiki to come out of his shell, but then it's just like... You don't need to put his feet in the fire. Like, it doesn't need to go automatically to now it's romance. It's like, okay, just focus on the rehabilitation aspect of getting him to do more things with the family, getting Sawa there so that Sawa and Shiki can talk, and Sawa can be like, I'm so sorry this happened to you. And then Shiki can acknowledge, like, oh, she's not actually mad at me, or she doesn't think that it's my fault, and I can heal from that situation as well. I just, like, the implication of that, I just don't like it. I know that I've seen it. I probably even spoke about this in another episode, maybe one of the more recent Fruits Basket episodes, of, like, this trope that I see with Asian content sometimes, where it's like the babysitter falling in love with her charge type thing, and it's like disgusting. To me, it is like, because it's just I like mean,
yeah,
if you're close enough in age, that wouldn't necessarily like be happening, but it's like, okay, somebody in high school and somebody in middle school, just starting middle school, are in two very different mental places. And so by the time that he gets out of middle school, she will be like Hajime is with her. That's like, no.
Yeah. I agree that I wish it was more their friendship first and foremost. Even as the romance girl, I wish it was just their friendship and the way maybe they got a comfort with one another. And then like later as they were older, maybe that turned to romance. You know, I think the romance right off the bat was a bit much.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen, right? Like, let's just take Shiki just out of this altogether. Not that Shiki couldn't get rehabilitation and healing and everything. I thought that this was going to be a situation where, what if Yuki and Toru had gotten together?
Ooh.
But it's not, obviously not but it's Sawa. Sawa's in that position or whatever. So it would be Sawa and Mutsuki. So I thought, oh, okay, are they doing it? So
gotcha.
The first person that she meets, which I guess it's not the first person that she meets, because technically, even though she doesn't remember it, it's Shiki. But still, the first person that she cognizantly meets, oh, it's Mutsuki. And he's helps bring her into the fold and does student council, and like a lot of these catalysts that she has came because he saw something in her and wanted to help her out. And then it's just like, oh, they end up liking each other. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Or for like a split second I thought, is it gonna be Riku?
So did like, I, and I shipped them throughout the manga because I was like hoping, and then all of a sudden Shiki comes in and I'm like, okay. But sorry, go on.
But right, Shiki comes in, they're the same height. What are you talking about? Like, I mean, obviously he grows up more, but like, and you can have short kings or whatever, but then it's
absolutely,
still like, you tie that into their age, and then it's just like, what are you talking about? Like,
right, it's all about the age gap. It always boils down to that.
Right, like Takaya.
I know. I wrote. Why Takaya Sensei? Why?
Please, girl, what is up with you and age gaps?
Like, we gotta know. The people need to know. Like, why is this the choice?
Release yourself. Free yourself. Free your mind. Like. Like, stop. Yeah. I think if they had just let him have a little crush and then they had that little epilogue where they clearly got together, I would have been cool with it. I just don't like the idea of like shipping somebody that is that much younger with somebody in high school, and I don't really think that the family should also go for that either. Like, obviously they know Sawa, but it's just like, that's kind of a situation of, if Sawa wasn't the way that she was, that's like grooming. Like, no, like, don't. You just started getting your cousin back. Why would you put him in that situation?
Between the ages of 13 and 16, so much happens. Like, growth in your mind, you know, just like one's on the cusp of childhood and the other is just entering the cusp of adulthood, and it's like it's only 3 years, but it's so much in those at those ages.
Right, and I feel like they try to make it seem like, oh, like they're on the same level because they mentioned that Shiki was attending family head meetings with his mom.
Right, he's like mature for his age and stuff. So, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Let us get into cherry on top. What is your cherry on top for Fruits Basket Another?
Kinu saying that you're more than allowed to protect yourself, and that was in reference to Kinu talking to Sawa about her mom. The other one that I have is from Hajime, and he said, just because she's your family doesn't mean it's okay for her to do or say whatever she wants.
Yeah.
And so I think that my cherry on top in general in reference to those quotes is that even if you aren't in a good space with your family, that doesn't mean that you're necessarily a bad person. And it's okay that things may not, like, don't work out, or that you're not able to see eye to eye. Like, as long as you do right by other people, then it's fine.
100%. Yeah, I agree. My cherry on top is just seeing Sawa's resolve, confidence, and happiness grow so much by the end of the manga.
Yeah. I was just really proud of her. I was proud of all of them for just conquering so many things, and I did think, like, obviously it's not like I like Akito or Shigure. I did think it was very cute that they they wanted to keep the mirror that Shiki had punched, because they were oh, it's like his explosion of emotions and stuff, which is just like, I think that it's very cute that, I mean, hopefully they do change it, but I like that they see the time that they do have with him as precious, or like these things as, or him as being precious. So even when he has an outburst, that's still precious to them because of how much they value him as his parents. And you could see him, like, all, like, blushy and stuff because he was, like, embarrassed by the fact that they were so happy about it. But yeah.
I thought that was funny too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is it for Fruits Basket Another. But before we cap off the episode, I think it would be good, to talk a little bit about it being our 3rd year anniversary of podcasting. I know personally you and I have gone through a lot in our lives since last year. It was, to be frank, an immensely difficult year for me that I'm still not on fully the other side on, but I'm at a place where things are more stable for certain. But between last year and this year, we did win an award, and it wasn't just any award, it was a Listener's Choice Award, which means I feel like there's a lot to be grateful for with this 3rd anniversary of ours. Knowing that there are people out there who enjoy this show is what very strongly, motivates me to continue to podcast through all of the dumb things that life has been throwing at me. Because, I do live alone. So sometimes it feels like I'm in the void, or it's just me, and it's just you and I recording, and it's like, oh, somebody's going to hear this. There's somebody right now hearing these words. That's wild to me. And when there's like reminders like that, something as validating as a Listener's Choice Award is like really huge. And I try to remember that. And I keep the trophy out in my, I don't think it's just off screen. It's just next to this little mushroom thing I painted.
Yeah,
I keep it out to remind me.
Y'all.
Yeah, we did. I keep it out to remind me that it's like, hey, like, you make something that matters to some people, and enough people to win an award about it. And that's, like, hard for me to wrap my mind around, but there's proof for me to see it that, like, my words reach people. And that's really cool. Like, thank you all so much for just being part of this. I feel like we're a small but mighty community. There's more people joining our Discord. There's more people like commenting on our Instagram posts and stuff. And it makes me really excited to feel like we're succeeding, because in my eyes, success is just sharing shoujo with people and like getting to have conversations even off the podcast in our pod discussion channel about it, because that was always the main reason why I was like, hey, I want to start a podcast about shoujo anime, because I don't have someone in my immediate life to talk to about it, and that is what we're doing, and that makes me very happy. And it's been nice to have this as a constant through all the chaos that has happened around me. So, whether you've just discovered us, whether you've been listening for a long time, whether you're a patron or not a patron, like, truly, 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 I'm just glad that you're here. Like, genuinely, I feel like a lot of people are like, we love our listeners, blah, blah, blah. But like, I mean, I feel like there's not a way for me to express. And I feel like I've tried to a lot. Just thank you for digging in with us. It's very, very wonderful to share this with you. So thank you for being a part of our journey.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you guys for being part of our journey. Thank you for supporting our podcast. If you genuinely enjoy us, please share it with your friends and loved ones. We have a community, but we're still building it, with people who care about shoujo and josei. So, the more the merrier for us. So we want to see more people engage with our episodes and join our Discord and talk to us in the pod discussion channel and engage with us on our social media posts and other content. And it's nice to see, but at the same time, it helps Giana and I because we want to know that what we're doing and what we're putting out matters to other people. So yeah, please share our podcast and join our Discord. And if you can, join our Patreon, talk with us. We absolutely welcome that sort of thing. And I would say when it comes to us podcasting, although I don't think I'm going to put it in our carousel when the episode comes out, but we doubled our plays, y'all.
Oh, that's right, we did. See, we're doing it. And it's
absolutely, yeah.
It feels weird when it's we're recording and it's just us, but it's our plays are still going up. And my brain's that's not a tangible thing for me to hold on to. So it's is that real? It's so cool.
I was just hoping we would go up by 10,000. We really doubled our we absolutely doubled it.
Yeah.
We were featured in Anime News Network. As if you're listening to this, we sort of worked with Yen Press to do that giveaway.
That is
Shout
true.
out to whoever wins tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we still have other things coming as well. All that to say, thank you guys for supporting us. We're going to continue to do our best and try to outdo ourselves. The way that this podcast is, I will say that things are going to be a little different next year.
Yeah.
But it will be better on Giana and I.
Right. We need to just reel it back, but not in a scheduling way or a production way, but just we're just gonna
logistics.
It's logistics. Take it a little easy. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, if anything, I think it's just going to be a reflection of what everyone likes. I know, at least with us, our highest rated episode is probably not what you guys think that it is. But I think that it does wonders for Giana and I because it was just okay, y'all really mess with us for real for that to be our top episode.
And hey, I'm glad. I'm glad it is, though. I'm glad it worked out the way it did for that to happen, yeah.
Yeah. So I feel because of that, you'll see, we'll probably just announce that whatever the first episode is in 2026, we'll let you know then by that point. You'll know the change or whatever, you'll see it. But it's really just all in the betterment, for us and making things easier on us. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being part of our journey. And Giana, we did it.
We did it. I'm proud of us. I'm so proud of us. Yeah.
4 years for us, but 3 years for y'all. But still,
yes, 4 years for us. Well, thank you so much for tuning into this special anniversary episode of Shoujo Sundae. We will see you very soon with our Fruits Basket finale?
Penultimate.
Yeah, I don't know what days are. I didn't look at the July calendar yet. This is us doing this in advance, so
it's fine. And it's gonna be a doozy as well. It's a long episode.
Right. I think the penultimate episode, spoiler alert, is the one where I actually cry on mic. So. Yeah. Fun times. I hope you're ready. But yes, we will see you soon with the last couple episodes of our Fruits Basket coverage for the anime series. And
yes, and our 100th episodes also out at the end of this month as well. So happy 100.
Happy 100. Happy anniversary. It is the month of Shoujo Sundae. Keep an eye on the giveaways as well. So yes. Anyway, before we get into our outro spiel, I would like to give a big shout out to all of our magical, wonderful patrons. On the audio version, it's cutting over to me saying the names, but I'm going to just put them below us on the video. Daryl, thank you
Yeah,
so
guys.
much. You guys are the best.
Thank you.
We appreciate you so much. Well, if you would like to keep up with us during the week, you can follow us at Shoujo Sundae across all socials. On Blue Sky, we are at shoujosundae.com, which is our website. You can go check it out. We have a cool little website, if I do say so myself. We're also on Threads, and if you would like to follow us individually, my name is Giana Luna. You can follow me at Giana_Luna_ on Instagram and Twitch. That's Giana with 1N, and you can stream my song Twilight Champagne on any music platform. What about you, Chika?
Yeah, you can find me in the Shoujo Sunday Discord. So join. It's free for anybody to join, and it's in our link tree. So, and on our website as well. So if you want to be part of a cute little community, then go ahead and do that. We would love to have like a shoujo historian join. I'd love to build that channel. A josei enthusiast. I would love to build that channel as well. Like, there is space for you. So even if you come in and you're just like, oh, they're not talking necessarily about what I want to talk about, you can just ask Gianna and I and just be like, hey, can we have a channel about this? And we'll make it. Like,
Yeah, sure.
We want y'all
Let
to
us
feel
know.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feel comfortable and safe. So yeah, in the Shoujo Sunday Discord, you can also find me on Blue Sky at chika.shoujosunday.com and on Instagram at Chika Supreme, and that's Chika with a K and not two C's.
All right, everybody. We will see you very soon with our penultimate Fruits Basket episode. We will see you then. Bye.
Bye.
して